Man, what's the word, YouTube fam? You are now tuning into Wait a Minute TV. And what did I just watch? Because I think I just had what comic book fans would describe as a nerdgasm watching this episode of Invincible. So without further ado, let's get right into this breakdown. The showrunners wasted no time with this episode, putting us right in the middle of the Invincible War. We get a scene of how Angstrom Levy survived the attack from Mark Grayson. This man opened up a portal to another reality and gets his henchmen to fix him. He on some Kang Prime shit with the multiversal hopping. On day one, he sends all the different versions of Evil Mark to our Mark Grayson's Earth to destroy it. Mark runs into one of his variants with a Mohawk, and they off rip get it bussin'. Movinsa Hawk throws a haymaker at Mark, but misses him, and I'm thinking to myself like, wait a minute, my boy Mark done smarten up in these fights. But right after, Mohawk boy throws a flurry of other blows connecting, which took that excitement for Mark right out of me. Movinsa Hawk starts putting straight belt to ass on Mark, but Mark redeemed himself a little bit by crushing his skull in with his fist. Other superheroes from Mark's world start showing up, and they start beating up on Mark thinking he the evil variant. We get a one-on-one fight between Mohawk Boy and Powerplex, and Mark and some of the other heroes end up defeating Movinsa Hawk. Oliver and Debbie watch the attack unfold on the news, and Oliver wants to be the big dog and save the day, but his mother is reluctant to let him go. She's scared that the other Invincibles will kill him, which I'm thinking in my head, like, of course they will. But what can she do to stop a hormone raging preteen with superpowers? Folks gonna do what he want. She lets him go and tells him don't come back to the crib because the evil variants might follow. Cecil's army of robots ends up catching one of the invincible variants and beating the shit out of him, smashing his face in. They barely know how many variants are actively on their planet, and they have no idea what their next course of action is. Donald asks Cecil what they should do and who they should call, and just like in the comics, Cecil says, everyone. On day two, we see every superhero from around the world get deployed to fight the invincible variants. Oliver hops right into action to save people in distress. He sees a variant thinking it's his brother, but soon finds out it is not. We see all the variants are putting belt to ass on all the superheroes from around the world. But even with that being said, the superheroes are giving these evil variants of Invincible a run for their money. We get a showdown between Masked Up Mark and Omni Mark versus Adam Eve and regular Mark. Mark is going berserk handling two of his variants at the same damn time. They throwing blows, he dodging them, he throwing blows, they getting hit, they ganging up on him, stomping them out. Omni Mark, however, ends up breaking Adam Eve's leg. Both the evil variants turn and look to Mark and tell him, yeah, you know, you pretty good, but it's not enough, in my K-Dog voice. They let him know he can't save Eve and fight them at the same time. Cecil's robot minions swoop in right on time to save the day and give Mark some help. Meanwhile, the Mark variant without the glasses is straight spanking the Guardians, you hear me? He breaks Nightwing's legs, he slices through all the duplicate copies, and he is just putting straight belt to ass on that boy Immortal and talking shit to him every step of the way. Immortal ain't won a fight yet. I really don't know why they keep bringing him back as a superhero at this point. Evil Mark stumps this man's head right in, literally. Right when we thought that this evil Mark defeated all the Guardians, Nightwing comes out of nowhere and phases him into the Shadowverse. These evil Invincibles are straight terrorizing the superheroes at this point. Real menace to society type shit, you know? One of them putting belt on Rudy, Monster Girl, Bulletproof, and Rex all at the same time. Rex tells the others to get out of there, and just like in the comics, he sacrifices himself to defeat the evil Invincible by blowing his entire skeleton up. Day 2 ends brutally with a lot of casualties on both the superhero side and the evil variant side. Mark is staying by Eve's bedside because he's scared that his variants might come to kill her just to get back at him. Cecil tries to convince him to go help the other heroes. fight his variants because his brother and his mother are still outside and unsafe. But Invincible refuses. Cecil tells him he hopes he's not making a mistake. On day 3, Angstrom Levy tells the remaining Invincible variants to meet him at Mark's house. Angstrom informs them that they've accomplished the goal of destroying this Earth and making its citizens look at Mark as an evil villain forever. He tells the variants to bring Mark to him. They refuse because they believe Angstrom hasn't upheld his end of the bargain by helping them conquer countless universes. They all decide that they're going to turn on him, but my man's Angstrom a gangster. He just ends up sending them all packing to an alternate desolate dimension, trapping them forever. Real Kang Prime boss type shit, you hear me? Folks, is him. This showcase of power shows me just how much of a massive threat Livy is to the multiverse. Cecil finally locates Angstrom. Mark finally gets up off his ass and confronts him. This brings them to one of the most climactic, epic battles I've ever seen in my entire life. When I say Angstrom Livy is a straight menace, bro, Mark is steady trying to attack him while he's steady attempting to trap Mark into another dimension. You could tell Mark is infuriated, but even with all that anger, he's seemingly still no match for my boy Angstrom. Mark does end up overcoming the bombardment of orbs that were being hurtled at him by Angstrom and finally gets the upper hand in the fight. And then Oliver shows up and tells Invincible to kill him for what he's done and kill him for good this time. Right when Invincible is about to give him the final blow, Angstrom escapes through a portal into another dimension, but not before Invincible severs his arm from his body. Angstrom demands his technicians to fix his arm, but they refuse to because once again, he did not uphold his end of the bargain with them either. So they give him an ultimatum. Either he die or work for them. I'm not gonna lie. I think he should actually work for them because he'll at least be able to live to fight another day, and eventually he will outsmart them and regain control. Back in Mark's dimension, we see that the whole entire planet is in complete ruins. All major cities are leveled, and bro is looking at all this destruction, really wishing he had killed Angstrom the first time instead of feeling bad for it. You can tell the world is still skeptical of Mark now considering the recent events, which I think puts him in a very bad situation because now he's almost looked at as public enemy number 1. What's even crazier to me is that half the superheroes of the world are out of commission, either because they're injured, dead, or like Immortal Duplicate and Shrinking Ray, just want to retire from the superhero biz altogether. This prompts Cecil to propose to Invincible that he should be the leader of the Guardians, which he immediately declines because he feels like out of all people, he definitely not qualified for that position, especially with the world looking at him as the enemy. Invincible continues to help clean the destruction of the world when all of a sudden, out of literally nowhere, the Viltrumite Conquest shows up. Wait a minute. He tells Mark that he's run out of time to conquer Earth and now he's here to take over. In so many words, Mark tells Conquest that he picked the right time but the wrong guy. We then see them about to face off in an epic battle as the show ends, leaving us on one of the biggest cliffhangers I've ever experienced in TV history. This episode was absolutely phenomenal. From beginning to end, action-packed, non-stop, whip that trick, beat 'em down fights, bro. I feel like they should have dropped episodes 7 and 8 back to back because I really wasn't ready for episode 7 to end. I think Mark is so pissed right now that he is going to end up killing Conquest, despite how scary strong dude look. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments though. Please hit that thumbs up button, share and subscribe if you like this content. And until next time, YouTube fam, I'm out.